Okay. This is my actual Filmora program at the bottom. I'm going to click and open it. And I'm going to start off with a new blank screen so you guys will see how it works with a new project. This is what that screen is going to look like when you first start or you first open up Filmora. It's going to look exactly like this. And you're going to have 4 different panels. This panel right here is your main panel when it comes to looking at all the features that you can add into your videos, looking at adding media, your actual text, your actual graphics, anything that you want to do or bring into your actual video timeline. That's what this panel is for. This panel right here is your project panel. In other words, it'll allow you to do all kinds of things with that actual content. It allows you to choose your text color. It allows you to audio, remove background from your actual images, remove background from your video, the whole 9 yards in your project panel. Your timeline, or should I say your actual timeline video source, this is where once you put the video that you're going to bring into the system, it's going to show. So everything that you're working on your timeline, which is the final plat right on the bottom, is your timeline. Everything you're working on your timeline will show on your video timeline source on the right-hand side. And that's basically what you have when it comes to the actual inside of Filmora. What I love about Filmora is the fact that it's easy for the new or the beginner person to work, but it also have a lot of advanced features built inside of it. And I'm going to show you how we create our videos and work our videos. First of all, I think I should show you one of the videos that were edited and then show you the process we did in doing that video. So let me go ahead and find the video. And let me know when you guys see the screen with the video on it. If you don't know this about your real I'm pulling it over. Do you guys see the video?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to also make sure I have the sound part turned on. I just clicked it off so you're not seeing anything. I want to make sure I got the sound feature turned on so you'll be able to hear it. Okay, this is what you're going to see when you see a video that has already been edited. And then I'm going to show you the process I took to edit it. We are in the Charles Village area of Baltimore, 2500 block. And this is going to be a deal that we're looking at currently. And you guys are going to be very excited because this one is a beautiful deal. So I want you guys to really take a look at what's going to happen next. We're going to go through the numbers that count, and we're going to break down this deal. It was a short sale. One of my students already closed on it, and now we're going to basically go through the walkthrough. Already work has been done, and I'm going to present the numbers to you guys shortly. So just stay tuned. Look at this neighborhood. Here we are at the property. One of the things you notice is that when I do videos, I like to use the speed up effect to attract people in the process of the video. You saw it there. You saw me communicating, and then I do it again here in this part of the process.
Is this the one from 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yes. Okay, guys. See, that's one of the trademarks with my videos. I like to have what's called a speed ramp in the actual video. Another thing that I like to put in the videos that really gets attraction with your videos and help you really get views is when you add overlays. And I'll give you an example of that. I'll bring in an overlay of the actual scope of work, and that's getting ready to come up.
With this unit, I wasn't even going to change the floors at first. Then they didn't look good, so I changed the floors, shoe molding, and painting. That's pretty much it.
This is what you call an image overlay. Okay. That's what's called a transition, when you go from one scene to another. And then we basically call that a jump cut. It basically jumps from one scene to another. And then we go into conversating, telling about the property. And then last but not least, I go into breaking down the numbers with number overlays. You'll see in a second. Was $315,000. We add sound effects. We had a rehab cost of $35,000. The actual mortgage balance prior to the short sale was $450,000. Once we got our short sale expert involved in the deal, she was able to get the bank to negotiate and structure it so that they could take another $200,000 off the existing mortgage balance, which means the actual mortgage became $250,000 as opposed to $450,000. So we were able to get the bank to take a discount of $200,000 off of that $450,000 mortgage balance. And here's the best part. Everybody made money on this deal. The seller, the wholesaler, one of my students, the buyer, another one of my students, all made money on this deal. So the key to this process is having the right circumstance in place where it could possibly be able to achieve the short sale. But then the most important part is having someone on your team that is capable of doing the negotiation, structuring this short sale. And I'll see you in the next. This is what we call the end screen video. Bye-bye. This is what's called the end title.
Wow.
And that's the whole process of the video. I think we're about close to 3,000 views on that video from about 3 weeks ago. Now, the process, nothing I showed you is really considered hard when it comes to video editing. As a matter of fact, all the stuff that I showed you, and let me stop that, give me a second. All that stuff that I showed you is really the basics when it comes to video editing. So the key to it is, first and foremost, plating out all the stuff you're going to be using in the video. And what we usually do is we put together a folder to have all the elements that's going to be going in the video that we're going to edit. We have all the different clips. We have all the different images, and we have the music that we're going to use in the full video production. We put that in a folder. And then while we're working on Filmora, we'll be adding this stuff inside of Filmora, excuse me, Filmora, and in regards to uploading it into the platform when we need it and as we need it. So you can bring in all of the actual components of the video at one time, or what I like doing is bringing them in as I'm using them. So for example, if I'm going to be using the first part of the video, which you saw me where I was talking into the camera, I will bring in that video first. And all I got to do is drag it in to the timeline, or I go over here to import and I can import my media. All I got to do is locate where it's at. So the first thing you want to do is import your media inside the actual system, inside the actual Filmora app itself. And I like doing the point where I'm just dragging it in. I have multiple monitors, so I can have all of my stuff that I'm using on one monitor, and then I can have Filmora open, and then I can just drag it in. But what you will do, for the most part, if you don't have multiple modem, you're going to basically just go to import and click on import media. And that's what everything is called. Whether it's an image, whether it's music, whether it's video, it's called media. So I'm going to bring in my first part of my media. And it's going to ask me, do I want to create a proxy? Now, what does a proxy mean? A proxy is nothing more than a copy of the actual video that's built into the system that will allow you to work in a smooth and precise manner when it comes to playing it back. So if I say yes, which you're going to want to do all the time when this message come up, if I say yes, it's going to allow me to bring that actual video in. And when I move it down, and this is what I'm doing, I'm dragging it into the timeline.
Okay, right now we are
in. I want to drag it down by holding it, or I could hit this little X on the video itself, and it will pop down on the timeline. I'm going to hit the X right now. And it's going to say, do I want to keep the video size that it was recorded at, or do I want to make the actual media based on the actual setting that I have in the actual program? The setting that I have in the program is 1920 by 1080. That's your typical 16 by 9 setting. That's what it is. And what I mean by 16 by 9, I'm talking about what you would normally use on YouTube, what you sometimes see in LinkedIn, and what you see in Twitter when you talk about landscape size. So a landscape size is when you have the video like this and you're showing it where the actual, in fact, let me put my camera on because I don't think my camera is showing right now. This is what's called landscape. When you have it like this on your phone, or when you shoot a video like this, it's called landscape. This is what's called portrait. When you shoot a video like this, it's called portrait. Most of the time, in fact, all the time when I shoot a video, I'm going to shoot it with the idea of most of the time doing landscape or portrait. Those are the two ones that you're going to usually use, landscape or portrait. So I'm going to go back to the sharing. And I'm going to choose the keep aspect ratio. And if you do that, like I said, that means it's 16 by 9. I'm going to choose that. And when I choose that, the video goes in, like I said, the section is called the timeline. So once the video goes into the timeline, now I can start editing it. What I usually want to do is edit the beginning first. So what do I mean by that? I can take the timeline and move this needle all the way over to the beginning just by hitting this actual button right here. And it's going to make it go straight to the beginning.
Almost like a home button, I guess, huh?
Exactly. You hit it right on the nail. But before I do that, I want to get this red line out here so I can optimize it so it will run smoothly. If that red line is in there, you're not going to see it like you have when you put it on your computer when you download it. That means that you need to basically optimize it. And the way you do that is you click this button right here that says render preview. And it's going to be rendered to the point of how it's going to look when it goes out to the world. And I'm going to click yes. So every time I see the red, that lets me know I have to render it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to start rendering it on your own, optimizing it.
So always proxy and always render.
Exactly. And you know when it's time to do that when you see this green be red.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember, this is your actual start, and then you got your actual end all the way at the end of the video. Right here. This is your end. Now, to go back and forth, go to your start, you just click the add the button right here. Now, we talked about the fact that this is where you add your media into the system. We talk about you click down here to bring it down to your timeline. When it's on your timeline, you can start editing stuff. If you notice, when I put it in my timeline, the video settings came up. And I can do all kinds of stuff with the video setting. Now, how did the video settings came up? Because it's selected. When you have this white box or this white on the top and bottom of the video, that's the open selection. So now the open selection is the video. And the video selection gives me 5 different things I can do. I can mess with the audio, I can mess with the speed, I can mess with annotation, and I can mess with the color. All I got to do is click on whichever tab I want to deal with. That's the tab for the audio. That's the tab that allows me to speed things up and speed things and slow it down. This is the tab that allows me to annotate with different type of transitions. I'm talking about animation, not annotate. And this is the actual tab that lets me change my color pattern on my video. If I want to move, let's say I want to move the timeline over a little bit here, and I want to change to this type of look. You see how it has that blue hue on it?
Mm-hmm.
I could choose that. Or if I want to choose this look, that gives it a more solid look. Or if I want to make it a black and white look, I can give it a black and white look. Or I can just keep it back as normal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that does. Now, let's go back to the beginning. What you're going to do most of the time, you're going to cut the beginning so that you have it where it starts at, where the parts that you like starts at. So what you normally do, you hit play.
Okay.
Right there is when it starts, where it says okay. Now you notice it has that pink line there. So I can go ahead and do the pink line where I change it to make it all rendered correctly, or I can wait till I'm finish all my stuff. And I'm going to wait this time. So I'm going to move it just by putting my mouse on the actual button right here on this pink button that's on the line. I'm going to move it right to where I start talking. Another way I can move it is 1 frame at a time by clicking this arrow right here, one at a time. It'll move 1 frame at a time. If I go the other direction, it'll go forward 1 frame at a time. The reason you do this is you want to make sure you start at the right point. And I'm listening to when I start talking. I start talking there. So I want to move it right to the point where I'm about to say something. And then I want to hit that scissors so I can cut off the top portion. That's called creating a cut. Once I hit the scissors, all I got to do is click on the part I want to delete out. I already cut it. So what I mean by already cut it, when I hit the scissors, I made a split. You see?
Mm-hmm.
I split the film.
Mm-hmm.
So I split the film. Now I can delete that part that I don't want, this bad part that start the beginning. All I gotta do is hit my delete button.
Extra fluff.
Yes. And now I bring it back to the beginning of the timeline. And now when I hit play, it's going to start with me talking.
Okay, right now.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
I just cut out that bad part. Now, and what you call the bad part is the part that you don't want to use. So now I decide, how do I want to map my video out? Because I have my own certain style. My style is start talking for a little bit and then speed it up. But what I got to do is determine where I want to speed it up and why I want to speed it up. So I let it go ahead and run.
We are in the Charles Village area of Baltimore, 2500 block.
And what I'm doing is waiting for the best time to speed it up.
And this is going to be a deal that we're looking at currently. And you guys are going to be very excited because this one is a beautiful deal. So I want you guys to really take a look at what's going to happen next. We're going to go through the numbers that count. And we're going to break down this deal. It was a short sale. One of my students already closed on it.
For me, we're going to break down, we're going to go through the numbers that count. That would be the perfect time to stop. And then I speed it up and let them see me going to the house with that effect of speeding it up. So I'm going to go right back to where I say the numbers that count.
And you guys are going to be very excited because this one is a beautiful deal. So I want you guys to really take a look at what's going to happen next. We're going to go through the numbers that count.
At that word, I stop and then I cut. Because remember, everything after the cut is what I want to do. So I'm going to cut because I want it to stop there. And now I want to bring in a different effect. The effect that I want to bring in is speeding it up. So I want to determine where I want the actual speed up to stop at. So all I'm going to do is move the time head, or should I say move the video head to where I want the actual speed to stop. And I want it to stop as soon as I get in front of the house. That's all I'm doing. Right here, right when I come to the house. Right before I get to the house. I turn and I look at the house, and that's where I wanted to stop. So all I got to do now is make my stop point, and I'm just cutting. So I determined where I'm going to start, and I determined where I'm going to end. That's called creating a cut. So once I create a cut, and this is my style of doing the videos, I want to go ahead and speed up that section. So I click the section that I want to speed up. Remember, when you see the white, that lets you know that you're working in a section.
Right.
And I'm working in a section that I want to speed up. This part does not have white on it because it's already cut, and it's not going to go on to another part unless I hold down the control key. So I want to speed this section up. So all I got to do is look for the clock. And it's going to say duration. I click on that, and I'm able to speed up I'm able to speed up the actual video itself. Now I got another way I can do it too. I can right click. And when I hit right click, I'm going to see it in here as well. And let me see. Detach audio.
Speed at the bottom here.
Right here.
Yeah.
I can choose speed, and I can choose show speed control. And I can speed it up for whatever amount I want. So I like doing it this way. This way I do it, I can go fast. 2 times the speed, 4 times the speed, 8 times the speed. I usually start off with 4 times the speed. So I will go right before it starts and see what it looks like.
Go through the numbers that count. And we're going to deal. It was short sale. When I started CloseKit, and now I'm going to basically go through the walkthrough. All the work has been done. And I'm going to just stay tuned. No child fish. Beautiful deal. I'm going to walk through. I'm going to do this short sale.
Now you see that I got the speed effect, but what's wrong?
It's too
I can't have
fast.
audio when I do the speed effect.
Mm-hmm.
I got to detach the audio. Well, that's the easy thing to do. Right click, detach audio, and then delete it. Bam. Now I got my speed effect. All I got to do is add whatever sound I want with it. In my subject video that I showed you guys, I added music. So all I would need to do is bring in my music and have it start right at the beginning. And I would, and I would cut it right at the end. That's all I'm doing. So this is what it looks like when it's done.
Go through the numbers that count.
Now, let me show you what I'm talking about with the music. If I wanted to bring in the music and show you how I do the part with the music, I just drag it in. Remember, you bring in your media. I usually put this head right at where I want the music to start at. Right there at that split. I drag it down.
Mm.
And then all I got to do is drag it to the end where the next split is at. I make sure that this white part is the only part that's white. I don't want to cut this. This is already cut. So if I click on this, you see that's white now. I don't want to cut the video clip. I want to cut the music clip. So I make sure I click on that. That lets me know I'm working on the music clip. And now all I got to do is hit the scissors again. And I just cut the music. And all I want to do is now I can delete this part that's in front, because I want to begin to start the part again in front with me saying a few words. So I'm going to delete the music part that's in front. And now you're going to see what I got.
We're going to go through the numbers that count.
So that's how you bring in your music. That's how you do your splits. You find the parts that you want to cut out. You split it by using the scissors, and then you hit delete. You would do the same thing if you made a mistake with words. You would find the word when you made the mistake. You cut at the beginning of it, and you cut at the end of the word, and then you hit delete. Any questions with that?
So I was just thinking about that. So is there a limit, or it sounds like that you can actually layer this
Oh,
with different
absolutely.
effects?
You just brought up
Okay.
a very good point. For example, if I wanted to bring in text, I want to bring in an image. I'm going to bring in this image now. So I brought in the image, and I want the image to show up right here. So I find a word, and let's pretend I'm talking about something here, which I am.
1 2 bedroom.
At this point where it says 1 2 bedroom, I could bring in an image of the 1 2 bedroom. Remember, everything goes where you want it to go at.
Mhm.
If I say 1 2 bedroom here, I want to move it right at that spot. And when it's at that spot, look what's on the screen.
Right. Okay.
Now I just click on it, and I can either make it the whole screen, or I can make it small and put it on the side when I say 1 2 bedroom.
Hmm. I always
That's
wondered
how
how
you
they
would do
did
it.
it. Yeah, it always seemed like a big mystery. This is doable.
Now, let me show you what happens. I'm going to play. Let's pretend that image is 1 2 bedrooms.
1 2 bedroom, 2 1 bedrooms, and a studio on the floor, and a studio on the first floor.
So once I let it, I hear that it's still going. Well, my image stopped. Well, I want my image to stay on the screen as long as I'm talking about that section. So all I do is move my mouse on it, and I can drag it and make it stay on the screen as long as I want.
Mhm.
So when I'm finished saying whatever pertinent to the image, I let it stop. Or in other words, I stop the actual image at the point where I want it to stop from not being on the screen. That's what's called B-roll. B-roll can be an image, or B-roll could be a video. I could have had a video come on top of that. The video could have covered the whole video, or it could be on the side or on the corner like you just saw me do.
How did you position that on the screen?
The easiest way, the way you position it, all you do is move it. When you put it on the screen, it allows you to move it when you click it. It turns
Okay.
into these dots. Now
Okay.
I can move. Or I can drag.
Okay, got it.
Then I can stretch it to where I want it to end. Now, here's another good effect that I like to use. I like to use sound. Filmora has sound effects in their videos. So I know I'm bringing it in right now. I brought it in right at that point. But when I bring it in, I want to create excitement. I want to create energy. So I like to use what's called the whoosh sound. Inside of Filmora, all I got to do is go to audio, and this is where you get to your sound effects. And I choose sound effect. Because I use the whoosh sound a lot, it's up here already. If it wasn't up here, I just type in the word whoosh. W-H-O-O-S-H. And it will show up underneath of here. Then I can just drag this in because I already know where I want it to happen. And the good thing about sound, it makes people pay attention to what's going on the video. So I would drag it right at the beginning. The beginning is where the needle is at, where the pink is at. And I would drag it right before I get to the end. Not at the end, but right before. So it's like it's going out. Now look at the effect that happens. Watch what happens.
Floor and a studio on the first floor. Stay tuned for the numbers that count.
You see that?
Uh-huh.
Did you hear it?
We did.
That gives attention to that particular item or that particular point. But like I said, you want to make sure you cut it at the point where I stop talking about the one bedroom. I didn't do it at that time. So if I want to do it to make sure I stop talking about the one bedroom, all I would do is just basically play it again.
On the floor and a studio on the first floor. Stay tuned for the numbers that count.
It ends right there. So now all I want to do is click on it. Remember, if you want something to happen to something, you make it turn white. Then I put the scissors. Then I cut out the part that I don't need. Then I move over the sound to where I want it at. And it's going to cut off at the right point.
Stay tuned for the numbers that count.
Now I'm going to the next part. So that's your basic key things right there. Cutting, splicing, adding in audio, adding in B-roll, adding in your media. Any questions so far? Okay. Now remember, I told you early, when it's that pink color, you want to make it the actual clear so it doesn't show up anymore. I can go ahead and hit render right now if I want, but it's going to happen again because every time I make changes, it wants me to re-render. So I can wait till the end and hit the render when I'm finished. But that's what the rendering does. It lets you give a smooth export. When you export it, you won't have any delays or jittering in your video. That's what it does. So
Is that the same as like saving it as well, or is that separate from
we haven't
actually
saved it at
saving it?
all. All we did was create a render.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the saving part. You can save it two ways. Save it as a project so that you can go back and use or finish where you've left off at. Let's say I'm finished. I got stuff I need to do right now. So remember, I like to start off at the media. At the top left, it says media. So I'm gonna start here, and then I'm gonna go up to where it says file. I'm sorry. Yeah, file and save project. That way, when you hit the saved project, it's going to let you stay where you left off at. If you see all these things that's in the folder, it's going to keep it there in the folder. So if I hit save project, and I'm going to save it to my download folder, you can save it to wherever you want. I give it a name. The name that I'm giving it is going to be the name of the project. So this is the 2414 Charles Street project. So that's the name I will give it. Charles Street video. And then I'll hit enter. Now it's saved. So what does it look like when you save it? I'm going to show you that file. Give me a second. And let me know when you see my folder.
We see it.
It's right there. That lets you know you have a saved project. That folder right, that actual image right there with that icon on it, that lets you know it's a saved project. So now I can go ahead and close Filmora, and when I open Filmora back up, it will open back up with that where I left off at. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. I'm gonna just close it. And I'm gonna bring over and click. Watch what happens. You see? It broke back in the files that I was working on and where I left off at. Now, here's the key. If you delete those files anytime prior to you coming back to the folder, it won't be able to bring in that file. So you got to make sure you don't delete any of these files you're working on before you go back and engage this folder. Because it won't be able to find it because the location has changed where the file is at.
Oh.
So just make sure you don't delete your project or the files that's in your project that you're using until you are finished doing your actual video. Okay. Now, we talked about how you speed it up. We talked about how you add an image overlay, or what they like to call an actual B-roll. I even showed you how you add audio in there, because when you bring something in, it creates a new track. So let's say I want to bring in another song. All I have to do is take this song right here that's already in and bring it down below to another track. It automatically creates another audio track. And it's the whole song until I cut it out. If I want to bring on a video on top, all I got to do is find that video and drag it, and it will create a new track. It's going to ask me, do I want to match the actual track that's already there? Yes, I want to keep everything the same. So I'm going to say keep project settings. And now I have two videos on the timeline. They're not exactly laid out the same way. You know why? Because remember, I cut off parts in the beginning. So they're not going to start at the same. If I didn't cut anything out, two videos will play at the same time, you will hear an increase in the volume, but you won't be able to tell there's two videos playing because they're on top of each other and they're the same. So I don't need that right now. So I'm going to delete. Remember, if it's white, you can work on it and you can delete. Now, what else do you want to add in your video? Well, you want to add actual text, overlay, and you want to add a title to the end. So let's just say this is the end of the video where I'm at. So all I want to do is splice it, remember? Click the actual scissors and delete the end that I don't need. And now I can add something to the end, like a title, or I can add text in the middle. So what I like to do is I like to add text at the end. That's called a title screen. So in order to do that, I go back to titles at the top of the screen. I go back to title effects. No, I'm sorry, title templates. And I can find what's called end screen. It's self-explanatory. That means it will add something to the end of the screen when you bring it down. So I'm looking for the actual effect that I like when I do an end screen. Right here is end credits. I click on that. And this is the one that I like to use a lot. But I also have another one that I like to use. It's this one. Now, if I want to select it, all I got to do is remember, it hit the plus sign and it will come right down on the timeline wherever the red marker is at. It will begin right there. So I can either click the marker, click it, or I can drag it to right at the beginning. And what's going to happen? It's going to play this actual ending that I can edit.
A unit, 1 2-bedroom, 2 1-bedrooms, and a studio on the floor, and a studio on the first floor. Stay tuned for the numbers that count.
So now I'm at the end. I can say, okay, I'm at the numbers that count part. I'm going to click on it. And when I click on it, I'm able to edit what you see on the screen. I got basic and I got bubble. What I want is the basic. So I'm going to first by saying, this part is talking about the numbers that count. Let me say numbers that count. Numbers that count. And then this part, I give, for example, numbers 1 bedroom, $400. I look and see if I made any mistakes, and I did. Then I just go ahead and do another one because it's got more than just 1 bedroom. Copy, hit enter, Control V, paste. Two bedroom. Do it again. Three bedroom. And now I got my end screen. But I noticed I made a mistake. I got an exclamation point instead of 1. So all I got to do is go back to where the exclamation point is at. Delete it. And have 1. Now, If I want to continue on, this one is talking about the bedrooms. All I gotta do is hit copy. And then paste. Now I have a second one that I can change to something else. Numbers that count, I can change this one to Charles Street property, and then I can put in whatever information I want to put in here. 5 rehab costs $3,500. This costs this time. This costs that much, and so on. That's how I create the end screen at the end of the videos. But one thing is missing. I like my end screens to have music. So I want to make sure I go back to my media. Remember, top left, you go back to all your media. I take my mouse, or should I say I take my actual timeline cutter and move it to where I want the music to begin at. And then I bring the music down at that point. Right there. And then I make sure I end the music at the end of where the last thing is at. I click the scissors. Delete the part I don't need. And now I have music at the end. Now, if ever I need to lower the music because it's overtaking the actual audio, all I got to do is put my mouse on the music and it'll turn into a hand. You see that? I need some kind of acknowledgement.
Yes.
You said hand? I wasn't
A
clear about that.
hand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I click on it and drag down. This lowers the music.
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen to what my music sounds like.
Stay tuned for the numbers that count.
Now it's a lot lower. But if you also notice, I could also do it up here in my audio. Because my audio is selected, it will bring up the audio window. And inside the audio window, you have certain commands. For example, volume. If I want to raise the volume here, I just slide it up. If I want to lower the volume, I just slide it down. If you slide it all the way down, you won't have any sound. If you slide it all the way up, it may overtake your actual words that's being said. So you got to find a happy medium of the actual sound that you want. Good part is when I'm at the end, I want my music to be pronounced so that people can groove with the music and understand the professional part that's part of this actual video.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other part of this is I have this video here. I don't want this part to show. I want to cut out this bad part. I want to start off with the talking. But I have all of this here, all this space. So what do? You guys already know the answer. I start at the space I want to delete. I hit the actual scissors. I cut. And I go to the part where I start talking again. I cut. I highlight the part I need to delete. I hit delete. And then I click in that section that's empty. And I hit delete again. And now the clip automatically snaps together. So now I can go straight to the part that was bad. I cut that out and just keep going to this good part.
This is an actual 4-unit, 1 2-bedroom 2 1-bedrooms and a studio on the floor and a studio on the first floor. Stay tuned for the numbers that count.
Now you heard me say an error. Did you hear that error? A studio on the floor, a studio on the floor. I said it twice.
Yeah.
Right.
If I want to delete the error, I can make my actual timeline bigger so I can find where I say it twice. And how do I do that? All I do is just drag this button right here and it stretches it. So I get a better look at the actual wave file, the waveness in the actual words.
Mm.
So all I'm going to do is go to where I say it twice. I'm going to move the mouse. I should say move the line over.
Stay tuned for the numbers that count.
I got to go back further because I didn't hear it the first time.
Studio on the first floor. Stay tuned.
I'm going to studio twice.
And a studio on the first floor. Stay tuned for the numbers that count.
I still didn't get to it. So I got to go further back.
And a studio on the floor. And a studio on the first.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
In a studio on the floor and a studio on the first floor. So this is the wrong part. This is the wrong one right here.
And a studio on the floor.
That's the error. So I want to cut out that whole error. I start at the beginning of it. Cut. And I go to the end of it. Cut. Select it. Delete. Select. Delete. Now, there's one thing else that's an error in here. There's a lot of space here. I got to bring this part to this part. Listen.
2 1-bedrooms and a studio.
You heard that gap? 1 bedroom. Then there was empty space in the studio. So I need to close up that space. So what am I going to do?
Cut.
But how I'm going to do it? What I'm going to do for what? Tell me the process of cutting it.
You just drag it from the beginning, like you did.
And do what next?
Click cut.
And then what I do now?
Drag it over to the end.
And do what?
Cut again.
And now I take out the sections. Bam. 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 Now listen.
And a studio on the first floor. Stay tuned for the 2 1-bedrooms and a studio on the first floor.
You heard that? There's no space now.
2 1-bedrooms and a studio on the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you correct and you make and you change your actual mistakes. You cut them out. Now, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that editing of long videos can be tedious because you got to listen to the video 2, 3, 4 times so you can determine what you want to cut out and so on. Like I said, the last thing, one of the final things I want to show you guys is now, Charles, how do I add text? So when I say studio, how do I make studio come up on the screen? So you go to where the studio starts off, where it says studio.
1 bedrooms and a studio on the.
It starts there. Let me make sure I got it right.
And a studio.
Yep. That's where it starts at. I move the needle to where it starts. I go to title. Then I go to actual. What I like to go to, when I go to it, I go to trending because I use it a lot. And it's going to give you the default title. This is the default one. That's what you're looking for. Default title. That's the main one you're going to use. So I'm going to take it. Remember, I'm going to put it right down where I want it to show up at on the screen. But the words is too big. So what do? Remember, I showed you. I click on it and I drag it to wherever I want it to show at.
Mm-hmm.
I can drag it here. I can drag it here. What I like to do is use these guidelines. You see the guideline that's coming up?
Yes.
That lets me know I'm in the center. So I want to be in the center anywhere that I can bring it. I don't want to cover my face. I don't want it right here. I like to put mine right here in the center. Well, Charles, what if I wanted it higher? Well, if you put it higher, it's going to be hard to see. Well, you could fix that. How do you fix that? You're in your text section right here. That's how you know you got the text highlighted. So whatever you want to do with the text is going to show up right here. All you got to do is just scroll down and go to background. Turn on background. And now you got a background color to make it easy for the person to see. I can drag it down, keep it there. Or I can scale it up or scale it down. Now, the last thing for me to do is to put in whatever words I want to put in. There go my words right there. I click in it. But first, let's hear what I'm saying. I said studio. So I want the word studio to pop up. Studio. Apartment. Bam. And I want to make sure I don't have it going through the whole screen, so I just determine where I wanted the word to leave the screen, or if I want to keep it all the way on the screen. Now, why would you keep it all the way on the screen? For example, if you want to have your URL, realdealmeetup.com, you may want that to play through the whole video. So you may want to start text all the way at the beginning and have your URL show through the whole video so people will go to your website.
Mm-hmm.
So I say,
And a studio on the first floor.
studio on the first floor. That's good enough for me. I got it highlighted. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut. And this is where I want to end it. So I want to bring in my actual sound effect. So I go to audio. Well, actually, yep, go into audio. Click on sound effect. And there go my favorite sound effect, the whoosh sound. But I want it to begin at the beginning. So I make sure I take my mouse head, or should I say my time head, and move it to the right at the beginning, right? A little bit there, about right there. And I put it right there, touching that red line. So what happens? Watch.
1 bedrooms and a studio on the first floor.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Now I want it to go disappear. I want the sound effect to leave when I just want it to disappear. I go right to that timeline. I bring down my swoosh sound right there. It's too far away because I want my sound to happen as soon as it gets to the end. So I want to move my needle just a little bit over so that my sound will be right there. There you go. My sound is right there on that line. And now it'll come in and out.
Rooms and a studio on the first floor. Stay tuned.
Bam. So I got my text. I put it anywhere I want. I showed you how to put the image in. I showed you how to change it. I showed you how to cut the beginning. I told you how to cut out bad mistakes. I showed you how to cut different things in regards to if you got too much gaps. And a lot of times when you see gaps like this, that means it's empty space. You may want to cut them out. But sometimes the empty space is there for a reason. So keep that in mind. The last thing I need to show you is how to export it. All you have to do at this point, remember, you want to make sure you get all of that pink out of there. So you want to render when you finish doing all your changes. That means that when you export it, you won't have any jumpy film. It will basically be good, solid film going all the way through like it's supposed to be. Your video supposed to play all the way through properly. Now, all I got to do is hit export. When I hit export, I got to give it a name. I like to give it the name of what the video is about, Charles Village Deal or whatever. I got to choose the folder I want to put it in. I usually have a folder for each video that I make, but in this case, we're going to just say download. So I'm going to go to my download folder. And then the only other thing you're going to want to change is here. The type of format. You want, in most cases, to be MP4. That's what you want it to be in most cases, MP4. Now, if you're doing an MP3, that means you don't want the video to show. You only want the audio. So in some cases, you may not want a video file. You may just want to make an audio file. You can do that. Now, here's the key. I'm going to hit export. And now it's going to start exporting. I told it where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to the download folder. So it's going to export it to the download folder. And I'm going to have a finished video edited the way I wanted it. With text, with exit stream, with the actual overlay, with music, the whole 9 yards. All I got to do now is just pull over my download folder. And there go the actual video.
Okay, right now we are in the Charles Village area of Baltimore, 2500 block. And this is going to be a deal that we're looking at currently. And you guys are going to be very excited because this one is a beautiful deal. So I want you guys to really take a look at what's going to happen next. We're going to go through the numbers that count. Here we are at the property. This is an actual 4-unit, 1 2-bedroom, 2 1-bedrooms, and a studio on the first floor. Stay tuned for the numbers that count.
You see the mistake?
Yeah.
Now, what happened? I'm going to show you what happened. I go back to it. You're going to see that I left that. I left that there. I did not delete it when I cut it. So all I got to do is hit delete. Cut out all of this bad stuff right here. This stuff right here that was supposed to be here. This is supposed to be right here. I hit the rendering and then I export again. Now, let me show you one more effect and then I'm going to show you a video that's done correctly, done 100%, a remix that's done. One of the best features of this program is you can record the screen. If you click right here where it says record, you get to choose if I want to make a webcam video. Let me show you what happens when I click a webcam video. This comes up and it will allow me to bring in the webcam, but I'm already using it for the Zoom, so I can't bring it in right now. Or I can record the video screen. You know how you see people doing those how-to videos when they show you, you got to do this to log in and so on and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
This program allows you to do that. All you got to do is click record. Then you click record PC screen. This is going to come up when you have record PC screen. I'm going to move it over. What are you guys seeing right now? You see this?
There we go.
This pops up when you click record PC screen. When this pop up, you got to decide which screen you want to record. So I'm going to choose the middle screen. Now that I'm on the middle screen, all I have to do is hit record. But I want to make sure my mic is working. I don't need the camera to work because I don't need to have me on the actual screen. I just want my actual mic to work. That's all. Hit record. And now it's recording the screen. I can do whatever I want on that screen. I can go and click on this and click on that and so on and so on and so on. And when I hit stop, what I recorded showed up right here. It showed up right in my actual video tray, media. That's all I had to do. And what you'll see when I click on it, what I just showed you. Now it's recording the screen. I can do whatever I want on that screen. I can go and click on this and click on that and so on and so on and so on. And when I hit stop, that's how you record the screen. Now, what does all your hard work look like? And I'm going to show you a finished project where I use everything you just saw in that project. You guys are the first ones that's going to see this one. Let's go to desktop. Let's go to Filmora, master output. And let me know when you see this video I'm going to put on the screen. Do you see the video? I'm going to show you what.
Now we do.
Okay. This is me doing everything you just got finished me showing you. I'm going to show you what kind of property you can buy in Baltimore for $2,500 and what kind of profit you can make off of that deal. But first, in that last video, I took you through a bird deal that a couple of my students had closed on. In this video, we're going to talk about one of Baltimore City's infamous programs, and it's called the Vacant Evaluation Program. Another one of my students purchased this deal for $2,500 through that program, and it's in the Park Heights neighborhood. And we're going to go through that actual house. We're going to walk through it, and then I'm going to interview him as he talk about how the deal came to be and give you guys what I like to call the numbers that count. So what I want you to do is sit back and learn, but first, don't forget to hit that like, make sure you hit that notification bell, and leave a comment because I want you to be up to date as we bring new videos to you guys on a regular basis. So let's go ahead on the inside of the Park Heights deal.
per month.
Yeah.
So think in terms of 175, 250 per room, depending on the size.
So I just look and see when it's time to go in the market. I look at what the best options are and figure out how much of a headache you're going to be. Rooms, you're going to have more headaches, more turnover.
175 a room?
175
A week. He said a week.
A
He's
week.
talking about
A week,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Because you said 900.
I said, I named the monthly price, and then
Yeah.
he just
Okay.
changed and did the weekly price.
Yeah.
Didn't tell anybody what he was doing.
You're right. Yeah.
So nobody was trying to come and move
Yeah.
their head. Nah, you're like 175 a month. Oh, George, as soon as it's ready. Nah,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Now that's the good part. Think about that. He's talking about being in probably around at 160, 175 on a 250 ARV. You get 75% loan to value. You're talking about being in at around 210, 220. That leaves about 55,000 cash flow, 55,000 equity, and you're going to have a mortgage payment where you're going to have 3,000 cash flow, give or take. Left over.
It was a real close deal.
Yeah.
It was a squeaker. You know what I'm saying? It's a squeaker. It was like,
That's a joke.
Screen went blank. Screen went blank.
Okay, that was just a joke. It's not a squeaker. It's an actual home run. We're just having fun. Last but not least, any recommendations for people who want to get into this, rehabbing, figuring out how to work this? Because you're in an area that most people consider the hardest part of investing to do is rehabbing. What recommendations do you have to the person who wants to get involved in this?
Spend a lot of time at Lowe's, Home Depot, learn your prices of everything, do a lot of Googling. Average price for this and that. That's how you get your square footage. How much is it to install 500 square feet of flooring, LVP, different types. That way, when you start talking to your contractors, again, you want to talk like you have knowledge of construction. If they have an inkling that you don't know anything about construction, the price goes up. You know, the price goes up. So that's the thing. You just spending time and learn what you want to do if you want to be involved into the construction. It's the hardest part. It's the dirtiest part. You can go downstairs. We're gonna be in some mud. You come in and but I grew up in construction, so construction is the easiest thing for me to look at and the easiest thing for me to do. It's not always the best thing, but I tend to do it more than I probably should.
Thank you guys, Charles Blair with George Hockenday Bay, All Real Estate Services. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next video that counts. Bye-bye.
That's the full edit doing everything that I just got finished showing you guys. Any questions?
Wow, that's great.
All right.
I just noticed one of the features, the undo button that's there. Does how far back does that allow you to go back? Like 'cause you had
Yeah,
mentioned the
it
heavy.
goes back all the way to where you begin at. So yes, if you do make a mistake, you can do the undo button. Yes.
Okay. This is pretty simple. This is good.
It is. It really is. The key to this, Kimberly, is doing it a lot. Because when you do it a lot, it becomes easier. I'll give you an example. This is a 16 by 9. But if I wanted to make it for TikTok or Instagram, all I got to do is change the aspect ratio to 9 to 9:16. So I go in here to settings. Let me make sure I have it right. They just changed this around recently. So let's see, where is it at? Where is the settings at now? Come on. Was in here, zoom, display. Here we go. No, that ain't it. That's that. Where are you at? I get to the end and now I can't find where the settings are. Okay, I'll do it at the top. File. I'll do project settings and I can change it. So it's actually on this right-hand side. You could do the same thing, but I don't know where they moved it at. But you can also go to prop file, project settings, and I could change this to 916 to make it for TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see when I put the video head on, you see? It's now 916. And I can add text up here and add text down here and now use it in TikTok or Instagram. Or I can go even one step further. If I started off with a landscape video, and let's say I want to start brand new project, and I'm gonna do 16:9. I don't want to save this. So I bring in, let's use this video. Is that a video or is that? Yeah, I'll bring in this one. And when I bring this one in, it's landscape. Well, Charles, you want to make it portrait. Okay, well, you got to change the setting. 916. And now I can stretch it.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, I'm only focusing on this. So I had to have my idea in mind. If you don't know this about your real estate business, to make it portrait to begin with when I started shooting it. If not, it would be a hard time for me to show all that other stuff on this screen because it's too high. It's too the actual ratio is wrong. So you have to already say, I'm going to use this video for portrait or I'm going to use this video for landscape. And you choose that at the beginning. Now, last but not least, let me show you how we edit a portrait video. And that's this one right here. You haven't seen this one yet either. It hasn't come out yet. This is an actual portrait one.
Wow.
Moving to the beginning.
Kind of
And-
creepy looking, but cool.
Yeah, it's meant, remember, video is meant to give an opinion. It's meant to show or to excite an actual opinion from a person. So you click it and
Tammy and I want to see you at this month's Real Deal Meetup event on November 22nd at the Towson Sheraton Hotel.
so that's meant for TikTok, Instagram, and the text is going to be Tammy and EYE. And then it's going to talk about this month's meetup. So that's a portrait video that was filmed and done by way of portrait. And all this is just using Filmora, using an image and then making that image talk the way I taught you guys how to make images talk and stuff. So I used Nana Banana to create I used Free Pick to create the image, and then I made the image talk. That's it. And I put music with it. Just the exact same way I showed you. I put music with it, and then I put text over top of it. Everything that I showed you. Go RSVP, realdealmeetup.com. Everything you just got finished learning, You can do the exact same thing with this. Any questions about Filmora?
This definitely demystifies this whole process. I would see YouTube videos and always wondered how they put this together, how they edited it and splice it and the
Yeah.
effects and
It's
all.
it's it's nothing hard about this, Kimberly. Trust me when I say that. The key thing is it's time consuming. Because
Mm-hmm.
you, depending on how long the video is, you may have to watch a video. Let's say the video is an hour long. Now, I usually don't make hour-long videos unless I'm doing a Zoom meeting. But let's say the video you created is an hour long. That's an hour long going over that video 3 or 4 times. So that's 4 hours right there.
Right.
Going through every part of the video. Hey, do I want to add text here? Do I want to cut this out? Oh, I said the word I want to cut that out. I missaid a word. I want to cut that out, and so on and so on and so on. So depending on how comfortable you get making videos, that's going to dictate exactly if the process is going to be worth doing. It's not going to point if it's worth doing. It's definitely worth doing. I can't tell you how much video or how much business we get from our videos on our YouTube channel. We get over, I think we're at something like 20 something thousand views a month now on the YouTube videos. So this could be a huge part of your production in your business, regardless of what business it is. You can use it in every aspect of it.
So you get a lot of views, and then how do you translate that into deals?
You're looking at it on the screen, Mr. Sir. You see the name right there? You see the URL right there? People go to the website for the company.
Okay.
So whether it's a website for the company or whether I say in the video, go to the website to sell your property, the video is how you get the deals. You put the actual URL on there, or you say it in the video, and they watch the video and they do business with you.
Yeah, because that kind of made me think about that as we were working on this, or you were working on this, is that it was kind of off topic for me, but who would be the target audience?
Yeah, for this, the target audience, for the other video, the target audience is wholesalers, the target audience is rehabbers, the target audience is real estate agents, hard money lenders. I want people to lend me money. I want them to see I'm doing deals. I want wholesalers to see that I'm doing deals. I want rehabbers to see that I'm doing deals, and they come up for me for wanting to find any more deals that I have. So that's the target audience for that. For this, the target audience is for people to come to the Real Deal Meetup.
Okay.
So every video has to have a target audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is very informative.
No problem. The key is making sure you're targeting the right audience. That's the key, because you could be making a video about handbags, but you're sending it to people who are looking for real estate. Well, if you nobody want to buy, somebody may want to, but you're not going to have that type of response you want. So that's where it's not just creating the video comes into play. That's where joining the real estate groups come into play. That's where giving people stuff that they can get to make them want to follow you. That's where reaching them out to Instagram, reaching out to TikTok, reaching out to LinkedIn, reaching out and engaging with people come into play to have them follow you and have them be a part of your network. Like I said, I get over 20-something thousand views on YouTube every month. That's just the views. That's not counting the stuff that happens on the other sites, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn, because everything we put on YouTube, my team also makes short videos to put on the other sites.
I have a whole new appreciation for this because I wasn't connecting the dots before, but this makes a lot of sense.
No problem. Any other questions?
So this is a little bit different, but if you're interviewing a passerby and then you put them in a video that's used for commercial purposes, do you have to get any kind of a waiver from them?
Absolutely. You have to, if you're going to have a commercial outcome for that video, meaning you're going to generate revenue from that video, and you want to use their likeness, you have to get permission to do that.
What do you just have a kind of a general form that you say?
That's it. Or you can do it by way of a video. I'm gonna ask you permission to use this. You mind if I record it? That's it.
Okay.
Mhm. If you notice when you see videos and they have the face blurred out, 9 times out of 10, the reason why the face is blurred out is because they didn't get permission to show that person on video to begin with. So they blur out the face.
Okay.
Especially the people that's in the background. If they come clear in camera. Now we're talking about for commercial use, not documentary use, but they come clear in camera and you're commercially using that footage. Most of the time you will see that back person in the background, their face is blurred out, or you have what's called a bokeh effect where the whole background is blurred out and all you see is the people in front.
And one of those features are in here too, right?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said that feature is one of the features.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I want to show you guys the basics before you get into any of the advanced stuff. All of this is the basics, and you've got everything basic-wise covered. You got how to bring in the videos, you got how to create the text, you got how to make the images, you got how to do the export, you got how to bring in music, how to cut, how to clip stuff. So you got all the basics. Now it's just a matter of doing it again and again and again till you get real good at it.
What did you use before Filmora?
Before I used Filmora, I used Camtasia.
Okay, and this is subscription based, I assume.
This is 1 year, $79.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good, really good. For 1 whole year for 79. No, actually, let me back that up. It's more than 1 year. It's when they bring out a new number. So right now they at Filmora 15. They may not bring out Filmora 16 to 2 years down the road. And you get all the updates up until the 16th one for free. So it could be 2 years in a row where you only paid $79. And when they do update it, it will be at least a year from now. When they do update it, it only cost me $24.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I can see myself experimenting, getting in here, just playing around with the features.
Well, here's something you said, something that I really don't like. You don't want to play around with anything unless you plan on using it and making money off of it. That's the key.
Understood. Noted.
That's the key. Any tool I give you, any part or system I give you, playing around with it is not what you signed up for it for. It has to generate revenue for you. And trust me, if you use video in your business, this will generate revenue for you if you learn it. So you have to say, do I plan on using video in my business? And if you're not using video in the business, you're behind in your business, because almost every business that know how to use it uses video. And there's a reason, because video is the #1 way people consume information. So the thought of not even using video in your business shouldn't even cross your mind. The other thing you got to realize, when you use video in your business, you don't have to be in the video.
Right.
So that's another part. So the excuse of, well, I'm camera shy, or I don't want to, I'd stutter. No, it don't matter if you stutter, because that's how you can edit out words and edit out phrases and edit out gaps in the video that it would sound like you don't even stutter.
Right.
So there's no excuse. You could have a actual virtual person, a clone do your speaking. I'll give you an example. This is my virtual clone. Let me pull them up. You see the screen?
Yes.
That's not me. At this month's Real Deal Meetup event, you are going to learn how to use 5 AI tools that every business must have. Hey, this is the digital avatar of the mad scientist. While he's out working on his real estate business, his mastermind, and his school community, he asked me to give you this message. I want each and every one of you to make sure you join us on November the 22nd. Tammy, Blair, and the Mad Scientist will be there giving you all the cutting edge information you need to grow your business. Take care, and he looks forward to seeing you all on November the 22nd. Bye-bye. So you don't even have to be there. It could be just your virtual clone with your voice and your likeness talking and communicating to your audience.
So that feature is available in Filmora also, this virtual, or that's another program?
Yeah, that's another program. It's what I talked to you guys about it inside of the actual school community. You can use Hey Jen for that feature, but you can bring in you do the editing inside of Filmora, where you saw me have the text on top of it, and you saw me have the music and the cutting part. All of that was done in Filmora.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember you did, you showed us how to do that. I need to go back. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
If you look up Hey Jen or you look up Lemon Slice inside the community, you'll see how I do all of that. I do
Okay.
that. Just use that keyword, Hey Jen or Lemon Slice.
Nice. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions? Going once. Going twice. One last thing I wanted to show you guys. How do I keep in line all the stuff that I'm saying in the video? I use what's called a teleprompter. So my teleprompter is a program, and let me show it to you. Let me know if you see the screen.
See it.
Okay. I use this teleprompter, and it's free. It is right here. No, that's transcribe. Yeah, free online teleprompter. So I can type out the main stuff that I want to talk about in the video. And as I speak, the teleprompter moves up with the words that I want to say. So you don't have to worry about making mistakes. This is a free program. And I'm not going to go into how you use it right now, but I'm going to show you what I see when I'm making a video. When I'm making a video, this is what I see. When I start talking, I just read what's on the screen. If you don't know this about your real estate business, it could cost you thousands. Even worse, get you put in jail. But there's a solution. Come closer. AI can keep you out of jail. Hey, this is Charles Blair, the Mad Scientist, and I want to personally thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell so you can stay on top when we bring out brand new content. When I say AI can keep you out of jail, I'm not just talking about any AI. I'm talking about Abacus AI. Imagine having an AI agent that will go out and every day search the internet for laws, bills, and anything related to real estate in your city, state, or jurisdiction, and send you an update every day on a daily schedule. That, my friend, is where that, my friend, is what we call having an AI work for you. So what I would have done, I would have recorded that. You would not have seen that. I'd have been talking to the video. So where you saw me talking into the video, I had a transcript in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I made a mistake, I just say the word over again. And then I put that part in the way I made the mistake at. It's that easy, guys. Any questions?
You said you, on a different note, you said you have the meetup this Saturday, is it?
Yes, this Saturday, and it's at the Sheraton Towson, 903 Delaney Valley Road at 10 a.m.
Okay. Let me get linked back in.
All right, guys, I'm going to agree to let you go. My wife is waiting for me right now. I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm going to go grab me something
Okay.
to eat.
Well, thank you so much for your time. This has been
This,
very helpful, very informational.
no problem. This is a video recording, so I will have the recording in the school community, and you guys can take advantage and watch it over and over and over again. But I thank you guys decided to spend the time. Tabitha, thank you for being here. Kimberly, thank you for being here. Larry, thank you for being here. And
Thank you.
Scott, if you're in the background, thank you for being here.